Let's celebrate it show. Akwa Ibom. Let's dance and let it show. Yakidara. Let the rhythm wave. Let's celebrate today. Yakima Okeuli. Let's come together in Akwa Ibom. Unity will last forever. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom. Let's celebrate as a whole. Yakima Okeuli. Let's come together in Akwa Ibom. Unity will last forever. Oh, the beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom. Let's celebrate as a whole. Oh, 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 oh. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom. Let's celebrate it show. Akwa Ibom. Let's dance and let it show. Yakidara. Let the rhythm ring. Let's celebrate today. Yakima Okeuli. Let's come together in Akwa Ibom. Unity will last forever. The beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom. Let's celebrate as a whole. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom. Let's celebrate as a whole. As a brave, as a whole. Drops in the air, dance and rejoice. The happiness be there when the rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Yakima Okeuli, let's come together in Akwa Ibom. Unity will last forever. Oh, the beat drops in the air, dance and rejoice. The happiness be them and the rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Let's celebrate as a whole. Let's celebrate as a whole. Oh, oh, oh. The beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there.
All right, a happy Saturday to my people. Brother Kuya Grace, I acknowledge your arrival. You are well done. Yeah, Queen. I also acknowledge your arrival. Happy weekend to you. I appreciate you guys. So today, I have checked none of member is having a birthday. So on that note, because there is no birthday today, we have to go back to the drawing board and quickly say a happy birthday or belated birthday to one of our member that was celebrated yesterday. Akwaiko, Patience, Ekong. Yai mani miankanika inonye, unkanika birthday mo. Sienam no idiom birthday mfukini, manatoro. Nyaga nkanika unofien. Nyaga nkanika inonye. Okay. Ana mabo. Nyaga nkanika birthday inonye ke tan nene nusong.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to our beloved sister.
Happy birthday.
I have said, like I have said. How can you? Emedio. Idem do for bad Say Gadia. Say Gadia. Say Gadia. Yes. The program is Who Are The Ibibios? Me mani do ibonum fin. Manato do. Inemen neme. Ibang ukangen. Yenang agas ye. Aba. Bakamado bed them for. For nam no nyinidion. So the young yagan kanika uno. Kedo ta wunyini mama titi. Mboma siete baiti. Ana maya Evibiolan at a unique place. I guess an aguero do yen Ibibio. A kuna mistake. Uboki Ibibio do just for one person. At a conglomerate. At a two. Me canción you. Now, but second, and you want to song. So, you need fang you need back and Devaseki on you. So, on that note, better to Ibibio. Type boss and gisong on me. Prof. Prof. Nkeruweme Demekong. Ndeko. Ndeko himself. Abatenjam yankanika unofian ke program. So, Ndeko ideme bari mbonu foro. Me want Ibom me for the love of Ibibio land and Ibibio people. Yes, and unity, I mean, for them. So it's here for the sake and for the love of Ibibio people. Last week, I made to go program. And program and Yanigin Amadonam Yanidion at Kirk, the talk Ibom. Any might eat no idem more. Then Tardini Madonam. I would tear and Wamago. For Jacob testimony. siama mkpong abuido iko basi usene dede nyini yaita iko ibanga mendidia egesi reitem ke izong ibibio adina man tigo yin fenem edi organ boy ibanga dia si ibibio egesi reitem emai tangi ko ibanga sawa mantwa mbo kase se 3 you carry them says you carry them at daddy anyway ngazong wana ri se bonga zong se unin gazong se unin zen nyini gizi nie unen nyine ga siya bante ntentru nene bante sport ya yi de me phone tum nene siya buye mi ko nene ke mi tamma agero nyongo yup ayero se ke pepe wo ebo yaga ari yemu song nanga bido nyongo yup ikimo munen so bana unen nyine ga siya song idem bantoren ko ga nyine ke nyong isi song idem awi bibio bana go de ni bibio ki si di am ko ro ga chemical bon ya itanga fredo mai bene anem mai bene nemedo ina manye ku songa furu ko mbong sam metem di ya wa iti di ban ti bani bibio di tangi kon di am bong fo ko na ga si di am ko tu wo si song tu song ama ga song atwa ate ko kai kre kana wan ga ko man te yin min bai ma ri din dan mi bai ma ri dan mi da kan bong abo ida ga bi e kai sa ku fa ko gam e bo ko ri ko gam bong bang ba ave ke da ku ga ki re chemme ri pe gam ba e chemme ri pe gam ba e di ko mengkam uka uso aja do ba ka ku we debum ate yin me igbem me igbai song me au ting du tiga nyanga ma ting di tiga nyanga ma ate fien bo ko me ken ba ku so ngoro ba ku te fere wo we ja ga ba ku amara ga mbong ba ban sana mi ne yang ban suen ne mi tum zinam no I don't fere we da ngai ma. So that was Ibibio people. So bananga nyini nyong iswa mpo se me etete nyini gi raidu wem ikeri bo ke wo riben chemicals ngunen no unene gbonu raiba dene wo song iset ama munene do wood afoga bo ota bananga chemical adu anyong na munene ba afon dinyong tanye ke bo ke ruang tong ken tong asie kene afon nyong ngotau nene mi kere ke chemical ke benne no nene media agere ke kuenga gide munene mi chemical nene do nyong sanga ro gide mfodi tie mbongo yeke nang iso tongo fot ite dai de musango mbongo ke nang ukoro tongo do mo ite de mesango ma kero bang bongo afuri yongo ke condition nene fuke tiaga do ayongo do wango fien yero se wana do god fien 2-minute man kini yero go wiki ko ru so Tawore ni bibio. So yoke nyong ba iti no use before you see. So yoke nyong. Okay ngukot. Nyong ukot. Antanga dombo nyong ukot. buku janga nyongo fenem buru awure ni bibio so yoke nyong good me anywhere at the age of 80 men kama so ibo bongo mboge ke ya iwut ntara ebo kedo tomodi ya buku wem risa ngata sawama agene ne mbakara tongo ko no kansa ro ngide mesanga mo gero gobo raya yero se megwe ko no pilo se fako jong mau kat ku koroten no inin ko eket mu tom borok ba yero se bro vere dong utim ebo yari yai nam deliverance ebo yen me wo mo ku fok mo fu etet ayesi ko be se no ngai fo eso sen kun kereso isagi ini atante me ira bori suara nemme suara fan boro ri rum bang sombok di onse dia dugbonu fogo tunene kri kanni tori fere me kana oneni bibio deal munene kri ga mon kwa obok no kwa obok tumbu yesa ku bonyedo miyanye ma foro de okenyon. So we continue with our story. Who are the Ibibios? Aron Mayo, welcome. Oh, come back at your man. And they come out go confident. Brother Kuyuk, I come a quite patience. They come. Brother Kuyuk, a member of this program. A Kwaiko Kuyuk Lion. Doro, who is a lion? I don't come, Bremo. And so as we miss somebody in the program, so Queen Okanezi, don't be angry because this is a Ibibio program. There is nothing we can do about it. So I will recommend you to eat a fang soup for 7 days and eat that afang every noon. That is 12 p.m. When it's 12, you eat afang with fufu. Then again for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, I will give you something to say, a secret word. So rise up from where you are eating the afang soup. Say, when you said, you will say, Ibibio is songo. Then say, yeah, Ibibio is songo. Then say, yeah. When you say like that, for complete 7, at the end of the 7 days of eating afang soup, you will automatically speak Ibibio and hear Ibibio. So it's a very common practice. Eat afang soup for 7 days, 12 p.m. At the end of the 7 days, say Ibibio is songo, Ibibio is songo, Ibibio is songo 3 times, and you will speak Ibibio. So it's very as simple as that, so that you know the power of an Ibibio person, our ancestors. So we have our people are in the house. Ibu remember them. Ibu remember. Gomboy kombagarum arma mbok tumidong ise.
Inong isong iya.
Yeah.
Ibibio nyen mikongo. Ora nyen koevo. Nang apokan go mekat kan sene kolo irong nyen. So mpen mesanga ya fon. Alani. Ito kan nyen video mbok ino nyen bangutong mbok ino iwana ke edi inyong no nyen menchi tem. Semu fenia isa songo.
Make it Prince of Bakassi. Adoko fok. Make it Akuku dan Udosen. So Prince of Bakassi. Aya introduce the memo. Yeneka, tummi dem ise. Ya tummi dem get ya wore nu go gedo. Ido nkanga go se get Prince Bok unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Kidong only a fian.
Ibibio somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ibibio somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, get it. Achibong Eyo, aka the Prince of Bakassi. But a combo, bro.
Maybe.
You are Emedi.
The Prince Radio.
You know, introduce them for yourself. No, Akwa Ibom.
Okay, I'm in Kere Achibong Eyo Okon. Ndo ayena Akwa Ibom State, ayeni Ibibio, to be precise. I'm in back in Finland. Maybe I mean, I begin to stone Finland. I'm into the social secretary of Nigerian Association, Make Finland. I'm into the president of Aqua Cross, Make Finland. So,
That's nice. Ooh, Radio.
Content creator on Facebook by the name Prince of aka Prince of Bakam Sikesi Kodmien. So get the page, send number only promote Nkamyan, Ikonyan, Unegyan, Ikonyan, Afun Pasi, Iba, Ibibio.
Mbok agbero so cover ka pejero ka yemanye sen dozer agat sen yanamo mbok kido kang yan kido Ibibio mbok drop comment no nye comment section come nye Prince of Bakassi atan te Ibibio do
me follow ye.
for so ko come inwati me follow nye come inwati kwa mbirara ya me
akenyen amena mabo.
Our Tibitang Fenemedomi, Prince, our Prince of Bakassi, Mbemedo, who are the Ibibios, many do Ibibio, Mbemia Kunobo, Nibikani Boro, because I weren't attend to Ibibio, I get attend to Ibibio, and I attend to Ibibio. I saw a bomb boy, if I attend to Ibibio. I can the year Eritangikom no one emananyem because emananyem ikopom boba. He only believe can take you go. Mary Jalbasi, Medio, Mary, Mayang Bamedu. About Aranma for the one. Ibibio and better one is a boy said. I don't take you.
I mean, but
Background down section iba na Maria Yaboro. Ya young Bamedo no. A tap Bakassi. Ibibio. Eke war. A tumbo many do Ibibio. Who are the Ibibios?
It's a
anyone would die on Bakaranja Kappa. Flow, just flow, use English. Keme baga Finland bene. Yeah, I know you can that benefit. Baga Finland. Masem Yakapa.
Mbumero, mel, you know, Tumba Makero. You know, Tumba Makero, you can beton. But some people, okay, I'm very proud to be Ibibio. First of all, Usemian, Ibibio language is one of the oldest languages ever of West Africa. In fact, of Africa as a whole. Ibibio language gave birth to Swahili. Because there are so many words, see, in Swahili. Among those words, they are exactly like in Ibibio language. The way they name the body, the parts of the body. I know exactly the Kiko. So all the way to Southern Africa, I can understand so many elements. So meaning that during the Bantu expansion, the Bantu expansion or Bantu migration, in my name, check. The Proto-Bantus, the original Bantus, who started this migration, Ibibio. And the migration went as far as East Africa all the way to Southern Africa. So that even the Zulus, they are our distant relative. But from the language, you can know that. You don't need to go too far to dig or anything or to look in the sky. The language is enough to show you that. So many people from Zambia, Rwanda, because I can hear elements of Ibibio language and I can understand. And now let's go upward all the way to Ghana, Sudan. If the Ghanaians are speaking, you will see that similarity. In fact, our Ghana it's like they are speaking Ibibio language. You can see all those elements of our language, the way they couple them, the way they add them, you can see all those elements, meaning that we migrated from that area all the way via Lake Chad to central Nigeria. So we might settle around central Nigeria. We lived there for a long time. It was a kingdom. We had our kings, but the good thing is that we were speaking a particular language. And that language is not different from the Ibibio language, whatever they call it. Because even the people in central Benue, those in Taraba State, all those areas around the Mambila Plateau, you can see elements of Ibibio language, meaning that we were the pioneers, the forerunners. We left central Nigeria, migrated all the way to via Abia State, and then we occupied the whole area all the way to Ibibio land. And then the others decided to go towards the Cameroon all the way, and then they settled around Bakassi Peninsula. And they were trading all this while with the Ibibios, who were already on the mainland, who passed through Abia State, all through Arochukwu, all the way, Ninikini, all the way, they migrated back to Ibibiland and settled. So there was trading between the ones that took the Cameroon border. And they were so happy to come and meet their brothers on this other side, because we took two different routes. Those who took Bakassi Peninsula and those who took what we call known today as Ibom. Of course, it was not only Ibom. Ibom in Arochukwu was not the only land that belonged to Akwa Ibom State. All Abia State, all the way to what we know today as Onitsha, it was the land of the Ibibio, because we were the first to settle there. Even before the Igbos came, we were already there. That is why it was easy for them to push us out in Abia State, in Arochukwu. Because we had a kingdom, we had princes who were ruling, were living very well. They had to form mercenaries and they tried to push us out. And it was not easy. It was a prolonged, protracted war that they were fighting with us. It's after having the guns and getting mercenaries from everywhere that they were able to push us. But thanks to our brothers in Bononam, they were able to stay at the border to defend Ibibio territory. They say, we are not going to leave. We have to come back and take our land. So every now and then, they will go back and attack. They will go back and attack to take back all the land that belonged to the Ibibios. That is why you see along that border, today you can see the Anans and the Igbos intermarrying among themselves, settling down there all the way to Arochukwu. Because with the Mbonyiniki Yaka, we had warriors. Monofara, they fought, they defended the territory, and they went further to reclaim it. That's why I'm very proud to be a BPO. And there is so much that we don't know, but we hope that through this kind of forum, we would learn a lot about ourselves. We would develop that self pride in who we are. We'll be proud of our language, proud of our names, proud of our gods, proud of our religion.
Nemedo nemeboro. Amen mbono ezoke ekpa otong me. Igi drop message no no mien. Sen bemem focus on me. Iko waraboro. Igi do ke bantu. Ugute iko yene karo bantu ro yakulan pien gi tiege gerege da home.
The home.
Politics ama would that name esio. Oba tiege gerege da home. Bante yene kam atanga. Avometangiko zinemetieti as a prince of Bakassi. Efik-Ibibio make dongoke mo ntejene Bakassi, inte prince ke Bakassi. Nyinigido nzuto wio ke Bakassi, nziginam no nyini swani fenge ibong Bakassi em. Iwo ido robut. Usoy sangage mo ngedi dogoron.
Sibaro, yeah, I think it's about Ibibio, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Ibibio. But I'm not tell me your history, tell me your history. Adibo, we were in Ibom in Aruchuku before. And then from there was religious fight with the Aruchuku people. And then they push us down. But I'm not Ibibio, Adibo, the same answer. And then some of them, we passed through Bakassi in Usangere. And then as we got to Usangere, we decided to move further into the Ibibio territory. The same story with the Ibibios. I walk in Bonifak. In any other story, in any other history, apart from the same history that is being told by the Ibibios, meaning that the are the Ibibios, they are in the Ibibios, they are parts of the Ibibios. Because there's no other story. It's not like they fell from heaven. They are repeating the same thing that the Ibibios are saying about their origin, where they migrated from. Of course, Mbonoron, Mboneket, Moe Eto Usangere, and Amakopkuse more only to difference, of course, due to time and space. We say maybe you are more at change.
Right.
But okay, these are our people because we understand ourselves. The way they speak is very similar to us. And second, Amado, I was able to scan all the languages of southern Cameroon. I was able to listen because through YouTube there is a website which you can go through and you will listen to all the languages of Cameroon. I pay attention and I saw that none of them was similar to Ibibio in terms of understanding. They were very different. It's only Oron Eket that was similar, and the folk language that was similar to Ibibio language, meaning that we left the Cameroon coast. It could be due to war. It could be due to definitely war because it was not farming. They had enough food. So it was definitely war because there were other tribes, like the Balondo, who migrated all the way and they followed us. So there was always this incessant fighting for territory, for land. So that must have pushed Mbonu, Ibibio to leave where they were, then migrated back to meet their brothers on the other sides across the Gulf. Otherwise, that is our ancestral land. That is where our people were. Of course, also from Ibom towards Aruchuku also, we had another stream of our brothers who came through. So we are looking at two different directions of migration. Of course, most of us, we always talk about Usangere, Isangele, like the Cameroonians call it. But then we should not forget about the other ones who passed through Aruchuku, all the way down through Taraba State. And then they migrated down to Aruchuku. And then they merged all in the promised land, which is today Akwa Ibom State. So,
Very nice. A brother me Ibopembame, but abo ke prince do tangi ko yaganem. Abo ki kom phone name TT. And I want to get do satisfied. Ntejini Ibibio. And yeah back Lagos. So nyiniminie ekamba wo momieba. We married always roof. Anyedo professor of history ke University of Uyo say itagami professor ngeruwe me de mekong ya yemenye arugo forum ke sanga ini ari fono nye sia mpo minke ketena ajinu nege wet ke pyong ifanga ke sokofro ko teke ibibio kwa Ibom ekedo a branch nkok Igbo ha ngbo mara manjare zin boy set mbok so ko kibo no mesi tongon tum so now awo fotogo di aketori eri bombok no isong fo non tombo kem bong yawo dara woro to afien bom au no fien isong aforo ngoto inwang ndi tomfo do ngwan ebon dito ba woro ke fodaka adigi form group adi one menye for 272 years and up till today unegi bogi bibi Ibom mbok kimi apologize idaka ino memo kem bosi ginam nufodo ado iso ka so iso isen funem ado itritien ni sokiri dongomi enok nyen from onishadu ado di wang di to kwa Ibom di yonga ke nyen gini onisha enok nyen ko onisha di sama ba akuko na ngam fene rokodi apero songotie akuko na well sorry network mo yaka akuko na ngakebu ke ba yidu ko unege ke ba ke wongo itie ke siege ke me Portuguese ke sie to iri de mgborwa na ngafota am ke nyini ke do menyamurwa immeto inwang e ma iri de mgborwa mi uso mo yo ebe mgbo ka mo iri no nyen de na do ke sen muna ma siege bono ki tiero bara to ebe kuna esanga mong iri wo kan nyine miemo esanga kan ne ka ronoku sa o ipo wo ma sieba enye ke siege de abainang abaibut of course abadu egiti Ibom ntero mmekere ba ite mmema ni abaibut enyo ni abainang so awo gbe mem di utom makere regbo arigbegido chairman local government ke ba ariegeru negege ni ba everutom agbe mem die e kauro ma ari organize protest ke 1929 ndoko ba akpai ban ke fun Nigeria isregamim funem ekedi onge di protest then by these same people ekedo Ibibio mi under Ibibio union ekedo takpa mmeri yongom kpogwo ekeye me state ken Nigeria isoko isenemi ebo mbakari no state Prince about 10 years every time. I think you want to say something.
But says on it like see Bado, I'm gonna put the map of Akwa Ibom state. Then Sanak Bere, I'm gonna Google, just Google Akwa Ibom state. Then Sanak Bere Arochukwu. Ayekoke Arochukwu, the city as Sanado Akwa Ibom state. The boundary across all the way Ado Akwa Ibom state. It means that the city that we call today Arochukwu, it extends all the way into Akwa Ibom. Meaning that Ninikinia for Arochukwu, but due to politics and oppression, so they pushed us all the way out, and then took over the whole of Arochukwu. And even after the war was the civil war, it was going on. Most of those villages seeking back a boundary. They changed the name immediately from our names to their own names. And up to now, there are still many villages that still bear our name. In fact, there was one Igbo guy who was saying that where he comes from, the name which was completely Ibibio name, that their people don't even know how the name came about. They just came, they saw that this is the name of their village, but they don't know what it means or how the name came about. Only with the Ibibios understood the name. Meaning a free tier okay is someone free song. But because we were not united, so they push us out. And thanks to the Ibibio Union, I wonder where Akwa Ibom State would have been today. They were the greatest force ever. They came out from all directions of Akwa Ibom State. They stood together. They say, hey, we cannot allow this to continue. They formed a very strong bond and they defended Akwa Ibom State. And because of that, Nigerians, they were not happy. Ironsi, all those guys, Sikibake, K, Abuja, or Lagos then, those who were in the hands of affairs, they didn't like it. They were like, these guys are too strong. They won't allow us to do what we have to do. They always stand in between. So they outlawed the Ibibio Union. They said, we cannot allow these guys to continue because they are too powerful. But today we have Otutuwa and the Igbos are already forming their own different conglomerate, and the Hausas as well. And we will have none because these guys succeeded in breaking at the yoke, piecing us, scattering us all around the place. So that for the Iminian Bonolan, Iminian Bonoron, even though often more able, okay, they are not Ibibio, and thanks to politicians, they just decided to scatter everything. But it's never too late.
Yes,
it's never
brother.
too late. This is a time
brother,
for us to come together.
Yeah, I heard that we were one of the largest tribe. In fact, there is a brother, Barrister Ebai Josh. I'm still waiting for him from Southwest Cameroon. I don't interested in program. So ndi yonga sina mayen song chega yise. Do the goga boki be joined from Ethiopium ke Italy. He's a jurist. Ata would take be soup. Apoke mo kibi tangi company bang the Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly. Yes, he bono do eke nam no edinie NCNC yak southwest of Cameroon. Edik bakaysiu no memoiba ufeni ba omim frenem. That southwest of Cameroon was never Cameroon, it was Nigeria. And I'm in a place called Mamfe, which that name Mokagana, that same name, I'm telling you, Mokagana, Mamfe, the same name Mokagana. So the man up there, that as at now, Kuforemo, Iminia Wokerege Benyong, that is in southwest Cameroon. Iminia Wokerege, Achibom, Iminia Efik-Ibibio. That all these names down there are those southwest Cameroon Ibibio name. And these people, other tribes, say my young lady that now you need to go ibanga migration. Kido tidy wa wege can cross mong, they might rise among the genam because Moigini Ibom, Moig young in Nsongikang. So same Moikenamaru, some people they move, otherwise at southwest of Cameroon. While Moro will make it a Nissan Mominko and young over court. And then, according to saying a tongue about that, can they me? Them meditate in Yenegbonoga, Ama no direction. Can the different families, every to you voice sang a car and Tebi Kiba? And I walk here and you about that. Can one akaba because of business, Unyamurwa? Kedara afara idegefara akereku saridet. So meaning that the name afara could be a general name of all Akwa Ibom Ibibio people. Because of Saridedo, Isankele, Asodo Nyingitiero. Then if you agere idegefara afara Greek. So Pusa say history yero. It is okay tangi me southwest of Cameroon. It's only one for liberation because of oppression and suppression. And the same thing you want to pay operation and suppression. Adiake wonu go from Onisha, no go this semaba. And then enuk tutu, edi wo ngwa. Now, if not the Anang people, 10 years, so come on, mommy. It's a boy bang about me. My brother, I come in by no Muyidam. I fell me word on a good yomi. It's Yarikob every pool. I don't think by kind of because I young Jesus about fail more because of more than a kid. That is why I young Jesus and more game. Usen because we don't love ourselves. I mean, your Jesus already told who did I better more. Because you have a little Jesus of Umaga, I didn't go Umaga, Runamdi, Jesus, who get again, who could again testify. So, I saw Swahili every day, so I nam to me. And the economy of the state, if you look at a Ibom state from a back road to the end, from Economic Road to the end, Ukangomi run road to the end, Wangi Bado, forever supermarket, apart from 2 Ibibio people, they're going to tips, ye reckon. And if you go to a business supermarket, you know, we don't supermarket and 42 for close the coke when I figure. Now, okay, let's go to Oron. Let's go to Itiunya Mabuoro Yiya. I won't get as an ubum, as an yere. Eko combo inside Kemong. Am I associated Wakumi? That is a for Nidaki Muni said. I get to say, Benito, Borida Konisha, even the supply in London, even the fish business has been a jar economy. Aquarium state isn't again the talk. Why go back? It's always Yao Fogati. It's only care Republica, it's only care Cardinal. It's only tongue prophecy, but you can tell that economy. Ibokonian. My brother, well, look at saying from where you are sitting, you get the whole aquarium langaba that can you. And now, if you look at house rents in Aramkuyo, from a year down, 2-bedroom flat is going for 1.5 million. How many industries? Ibaga Kwaibum. And the talk Kwaibum, you don't know you pay such money, which means that get strangers able to pay this money. And then this is an indirect way of driving our people back to the bush. In fact, driving them to any other region outside Akwa Ibom State where they can pay house rent. Tell me the truth. Where the Fulanis are also coming by all means and by force. Then that's why you are talking about Ibibio Union. There was no Nang. There was no Iket. There was everybody under Ibibio Union. The oneness, the unity. Fighting for a common cause of the Ibibio people. The Anang, the warriors, were there to help. We are brothers. Warriors. They will fight this battle. And all these things, in politics, that's one of them. So that, because wherever Cebu, a house that is not united, case one immediately, you'd be caused. Present day do not understand that he come back. They don't know. We don't have any other place than it's here going in Mary Soko. Okay, imagine that Southwest Cameroon from Onisha down. The largest tribe in Nigeria. Like you have said, the Ejakam tribe is our people to throw Kamba. Akamba people Akamba people Uyanga and all those parts and through the years, because Mekom community, when I was in Calabar, community only formed their own language. So people used to form languages. In fact, a particular group of people, they call it Korinam in Calabar, they try to form a language to make sure that they are different tribes. So people form languages. So that as a good language is as a good in Sabidi. So that so this is how languages comes about. In case of a Kong, they team up together. And everywhere you go, it fought. And you fought. Tell me. Generation. Okay, look at this picture. When brothers fight to date, a stranger inherits their property. Look at that picture. If we fight to date, many don't landlord who yum for them. Okay, send on Facebook. Majority of Morunyamabu. Ibana Yoruba, don't know you. Yoruba said it for estate agents. Kutau you. Abu Yoruba, you been feeling no for agents. The Moki economy can tang brother, young Jao. Because I know you have inspiration.
Attack maniko kike tangaru. Ameri oke nke si ba ke kalaba. So mbono obudu. Ema isemi kong kamo. I understand so many things. Imagine all the way to obudu. Ema isemi kong kamo. I can see elements of Ibibio. In fact, I understand. I tried 1% more time. Okay, leave that place and then come all the way to Obubra. Obubra ma semi kong. You come more. You could all those elements of Ibibio language. And most of the things say more you could say more who came to Iko-Ibibio. I'm okay, Iko-Ibibio was a major language. It extends all the way from Benue State, Taraba State, all the way down to this current location that we have today.
Excuse me, let me help you there. America Djibouti before. There is a land called Djibouti. As I'm talking to you, His Excellency Moses Egbo, the former deputy governor of Akwa Ibom, said, can help me in this, that kept part of Djibouti. Ibibio. I mean, Djibouti, very close to Eritrea. So this language, if you cross to the Caribbeans, a place called Solomon Island in Fiji. My brother is in Solomon Island, close to Australia. So now, and to go for some more Bobodo, go for now, may take 10 years Bobodo. I get that Ken Ediongutemu for because our forefathers, MIC the Yongutem Kai, and I believe guess why I'm bottom for me. So now that is why part of the native Australia, the British say get go mbakaradom funim. Iyakino about the native ufang. In that land, even in government, we may recognize. And who are these natives? This is part of the people is okay. Then the Black Caribs, right down to Hungary, Paraguay. Then you come back to St. George Island, including Haiti, Zokobami. All these people, the first set of slaves, Edepekeito, if you are young, as at 1602. I mean 1602. Momigan Weremi, live in southeastern Nigeria, written by Mary Kingsley, 1629. So akpa Ekenekeben, Ibibio, Efik. Now who was Sofian? The landing of the missionary to us. Ekebeniko Basie Nekedi. Or give young onion so that they can there is a documentary here. There is what is called G7 meeting. The Prime Minister of Rome, Meloni, about that for the many years of exploitation of Africa. That meeting was for Africa outreach. That to stop the migrants coming into Europe. That why these people are coming, that they should realize that Europeans suck Africans dry. They have taken their wealth for so many years, such that now that Africans are poor, they have no way to rely on. That they are now coming to their oppressors to try to take back, either by working to collect the salary or by whatever means they can, to take back what they can go back and build Africa. Now, Mado Boke and a suggestion. I got the Prince of Saudi Arabia and so many world leaders yesterday about to make Africa Ibom industries. Return business back to enable these migrants to settle down. Because when Africa is okay with infrastructures, there is nobody able to work Africa among Europe. I will do that as soon as Mbok Ayanime for the sake of Ibibio people. This will not take much time. I just want to prove a point here to show that this is a very serious issue. And there's nothing that can be as serious as this. So now, let me fast forward.
St. Peter's Square to Bari to join
Let
project
me fast forward this.
to develop a transport corridor, safe journey. The migrants had to brave the only major Western country to join their Belt and Road exporter of goods. In 2023, safe journey. The migrants had to brave the Mediterranean Sea, where rough weather takes a toll. About 2,000 migrants died or went missing last year. Thousands of others had to be rescued. The boat journey from Africa is perilous. But every year, thousands upon thousands still try to make the voyage. Why is that? For two reasons. The first is that they're seeking asylum. There are a number of insurgencies in Africa. Terrorists have taken over vast areas in countries like Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. Even Nigeria faces an insurgency by Boko Haram, so you can understand why people are fleeing their homes. They want to escape the violence. So that's one reason for the illegal migration from Africa. But it's not the only reason. The other reason is economic opportunity. Africa was once almost completely colonized by Europeans. Europe carved the continent up and exploited it for generations. Independence came after decades when Europe had already looted the continent dry. What was left was political instability and widespread poverty. Africa still hasn't recovered, and many are fed up. Instead of waiting for their countries to advance, they want to go to the land of the colonizers and share in the wealth that should have been theirs. But Europe isn't as rich as it once was. Recent events like the war in Ukraine have dealt them a blow. Europeans across nations are going through a cost of living crisis. In this situation, they don't want more mouths to feed, so they want to put an end to illegal immigration. Now, Europe does hold the blame for poverty in Africa. They created the problem that they now face. So how do they end it? Giorgia Meloni has a simple plan. Invest some of Europe's wealth in Africa, create jobs and economic opportunities. Meloni thinks that this will reverse the trend of illegal migration, at least migration for economic purposes. And Meloni calls it the Mattei Plan.
The first one is that all of us, we understand that Africa is not looking for charity. They ask for the possibility to compete on an equal footing. And you cannot do that if you don't have infrastructures. So we understand it, and we know it is the priority we have to work on. For too long, Africa has been misunderstood and exploited, looked down or from above. But Africa is instead a continent that can surprise if put in the conditions to take advantage of what is extraordinary about it. It is up to us to collaborate with African nations and to build with them new development opportunities with a peer-to-peer approach in order to grow together.
And she wants it adopted by as many countries as possible. The G7 summit serves as the perfect venue for her to advance
So, Prince, do you receive this story in a good faith or sadness? And from the mouth of a prime minister of Italy, you are hearing that it was Europe that exploited, that created the condition we are in today. They are the people that bring this political theory. And then they cut Ibibio into pieces. In fact, they even support some tribes to fight against each other. They supported them. Now, that woman is honest. She's very honest. That Europe created this problem. And then we have been underestimating Africans. That know that if given opportunity, that Africans will surprise everyone in the world. That's what that woman said. You heard it. Let me give you a chance to talk.
Of course, we are not surprised. We are not surprised by, the tactics that the Europeans used when they came to Africa. It was very simple. It was divide and rule. Because when they came, they saw that the Africans were already so well organized. We had our own form of democracy. Everything was functioning very well. In fact, you can leave your door open and go. You don't need to lock it for fear of criminal or somebody stealing. We had our oracles in place. We're spiritually minded people. We were a community of people. We're always working together. All this one that Akopom, Fermon, Pyong, Hunger, it wasn't there because every village had like a community land where all the communities would come out and they will farm. They will plant yam, plant cassava and things, and then the Obong will come and take his own share, and then the rest of the share was divided among a fruit folk. So people were living well. There was no hunger. There was no street children because the community was always there to take care of them. We had order, we had hierarchy. Imani Membong, then the council of chiefs, then all the way to Opo, head of the family. So everything was so organized. Not until Bakara meant the so-called democracy, and the result is very clear. Corruption everywhere. And with corruption brings what? Underdevelopment, poverty, inequality, you can name them. And they had to introduce social security in their own land so that even if you're not working or you are suffering, the government will support you. Why didn't they introduce the same system in Africa? They only did it in France, they did it in the UK, and all over Europe. But when they came to Africa, they taught us only about the Bible, about Jesus Christ, about heaven. But they didn't introduce social security.
At that point, at that point, they came on Jesus Christ. So, kini our ancestors say again, young the pagan and more crude oil. Eco is up. Even UAC refine is up. Eco no you. Eco neke bill UK. So you need to pay and get young even Jesus. Mfremium Jesus of Moike Benedido, and yet Cabido homosexual, I wouldn't be all wooden. I won't want to be all one. But the same people, like everyone maintain you all one about Mita, the same person, and even maintain you can stony gang. Abokem Moido demon. But that same person, above Old Stratford and Venom get cause slavery, me wish ye say ball. Then Menado Yerido send Matthew, send Reuben, send a Philippine Messen Fenemi. Then you know free card I can you get out yete abo buying demon. Abo your grandfather. I come and get yok to. I do one fien. I didn't ya for the rimbut. And when I go up boys on them said it so that would fien a cow you saw. I can buy in the demon, I can buy in Siamaba, Kedo demon. Can you see the condition we are in? Ediben bomb in onion because about working on technology. I think now we could carry the baton who talk about in tempo go get nabo. In fact, the skill who can listen to Fogabasi. I know the same skill because of negative technology. Second now woman microphone or TV rodom. And that is second onion. That is second onion. Because everybody working on technology. Everybody working on science. Nko Bible interpret ke free Ibibio language, shaken Bible, Oron Bible, Anang Bible, a free Bible. Nsinam ke interpret with physics. Nsinam ke me interpret with biology. Nsinam ke interpret with chemistry. Meba wosibabutombe. Because they don't want us to go there. They don't want us to understand it. They don't want us to know. So you listen me? Kufenemi. Anyway, a brother Abu, the West will never allow Africa to develop. They want to continue to enslave Africa rather than and take their resources. No, based on the meeting, Bongomi, because the migrant to Europe now, Europe is able to feed the migrants again. So they are now looking for alternative. I did develop Africa, young migrant, and they able how much this will cost them. So Italians are now blaming UK. They are now blaming all the Europeans. Exploit. The woman said exploitation. The woman said exploitation. Brother, ani say minko. Ebo ku nege ben wealth nyen. Ebo ke ibri taminokun, otherwise known as Ibom. Ebo for millions of years. Akedo ndemedgo the more Ibibios worship, the more they progress. Ebo we were rich and we were powerful. And now I won't bo mien. From that time till today, as song Ibibio came for it near an outstanding millionaire and billionaire. Now, according to Ibibio council of that time, which my father was a member, came boy by song. Now, it might say Korean kaitian demero. So UNEC rely on us through a form of partnership. Yeah, I see one demero no more. Because they were going to come out with more afterwards. And that is oral history. So they couldn't at a point keep quiet again. So they now seek peace. And I'm some atonement. So that Ibibio, one memo. Well, Ibibio Mbones and Bomb. Am I daka? Eke one mbong Ibibio shake to continue the war. But Eboki Yareseredo. That Kewo Ibibio, ake betray. Mberu Wandemem. Anomborunega. I don't know if you have heard about this.
Sibaro, Ameri Hakem Bonobo Bra, Ekod Abasim Mo, Ibn Okpabi. Ibn Okpabi. I'm mom. What is the meaning of Ibn Okpabi? They say we don't have any other meaning, we call it God. Okay, Ibn Okpabi was such a powerful oracle. It extends all the way into Benin. Benin, Edido for blessings. Those who wanted to get pregnant, all the way, came all the way to come down, all the way just to come and get the blessings. So that was the glory, the power. All the way, it extends all the way. And that I understand now why Bonaro were doing everything possible to push the Ibibios away and grab that particular site where the oracle was. Because they knew the influence, the power that they would gain if they have to succeed to push the Ibibio, and they succeeded. And that is why the Aru people were so powerful. They were everywhere. They were well known because they used the oracle as a means to empower themselves. People came down and bowed down to them. Their glory, their power extended all the way to the Calabar rivers. Even the British who came, they knew much about them.
Yes.
Not until Mary Slessor, the so-called a missionary, woman of God, that is being worshipped in Calabar, betrayed them because she was an agent of the British.
Yes, yes.
She was an agent of the British. She was not there because she loved us. She was there to work for the British Empire, to come and see where she could get as many information as possible. And then she would pass it on to the armies who were waiting there at the high sea. And say,
Because
these
they
people, they are
couldn't
too
enter
powerful.
again. Because of this resilience.
Because our people, we were so resilient, even Bonona, we didn't give in to them. We fought them. We killed many of them. So when she came, she saw that these people were so powerful and these ones were so weak. So what she did was that she had to gather all the information because she was an informant. And then she passed it on to the British. And the British, they sent the soldiers to destroy our people. And the thing is that they will not destroy if not for the people that they recruited already in the southwest part of Nigeria, the Yorubas. They took armies from there to come to Ibibio land because they could not fight us. There is no how they would have succeeded to fight us in the forest, in our homeland. We were ready for them. So they had to use the Yorubas.
Are you aware? One of the comments came with it. I don't know if you're aware. The white man, but without a man called Chief Nyong Ansa, who they changed the man's name to Chief Daniel Henshaw. That without that man giving them all the details and information, deep information that nobody in the entire world will disclose it to them. And then he wrote in this book. Can I send the book to you after?
I will appreciate that. And not just him, they also came with soldiers from the Yoruba land. Those were ones that they have conquered already and turned them into Christians to come and fight us. So those ones sacrificed their blood. They were like the foot soldiers. They were put at the front of the fighting to die. But in the history book, they will say the British conquered the Ibibios, they fought the Ibibios, but they were not the ones. They were at the back. They pushed the Africans to go and fight their brothers and destroy their brothers and sacrifice their own life. So after weakening the Ibibios, that is why the British were able to come in and say, we conquered. So all the glory goes to them. And talking about Nigeria for what it is today, the British, they made it. I read it. They said, let's not industrialize Nigeria. Don't industrialize Nigeria. All what we should do is that let's build railways connecting River State to Kaduna, Kaduna to Lagos. Let's get as many raw materials as possible and ship them to our countries. But as for this country called Nigeria, let's not industrialize them. And that is how they were able to introduce the Bible to the Africans. So that what did we learn at the end of the day? We were only qualified as clerks, as messengers. In fact, being a doctor was forbidden. The only thing you can be a midwife. They forbade anybody to study as far as doctor degree, because they wanted to limit us where we are. Because they know if we were more educated than they are, or we were, more enlightened than like they are, then we would push them all away. So they made sure that they suppressed us. They kept us at that very level. And the worst of all, the medium that they used, the tool that they used was Christian religion. They used that to brainwash our own very people. And the irony is that all our oracles, our artifacts, they carried everything. They will tell them, you see, the bishop will come and say, all these things that you guys are doing, it's devilish, it's evil. I'm going to carry them out. He didn't tell them why they were carrying them to. They put them straight into the ship and they moved them into their museums. So that today our oracles are priceless. And then we tell them that you guys stole it from us. They say, yes, we stole it from you guys. Give it back to us. They say, no, we will not give it back to you guys, because these things that are here, they are priceless. Money cannot buy them, so we cannot give it back to you people. So they played on us. They gave us the Bible, and they carried all our gods and our oracles and our powers, those things that were there to protect us. And then they kept them in their own museums today. So that today we are a people without the roots, a people without the culture, a people without a defense. That was the intention of the white people, and they succeeded, unfortunately. Until today, our people are still blinded. They are still serving a God that they don't even know. You will see them say, oh Lord, Oh Lord, they don't even know whether they are calling Jesus Christ, whether they are calling Holy Spirit, or whether they are calling God. So all the gods that they are calling, they don't even know anymore who they are worshiping. Amabama, who are you calling lords? Oh, maybe Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe Holy Spirit. Oh, maybe God the Father. They don't even know who they are worshiping. So we are like a people floating in the high sea. We have no gods. We have no more people force to represent us. We have been disconnected from our very root, from our very oracle. And it's unfortunate.
Guy, my prince. Pause for another Saturday. I beg you, in the name of our ancestors, please find time next Saturday. Calm down. Prince, what I will now ask, is there any opportunity for Ibibio people like nurses, whatever they can do in Finland? Can make it now for so display a job in Finland? Please tell me about Finland and how lucrative it is in job market for immigrants.
Finland, same in my Finland, Nado. It's not like France. It's not like in the UK. It's a country that has been fighting for them. They are white people, but they are a country that have been fighting for the freedom of the ordinary people. I don't know if you remember back then when we had civil war in Biafra. They supported the Biafrans against the Nigerians. So they are there to empower the meek ones, the little ones, those who are fighting for their own freedom. And I discovered that the things that I was being taught in school is different from the things that I ever learned in Nigeria. Here they teach us what they call critical thinking. Critical thinking means that don't base your thinking or your reasoning on what your mother told you or what your father told you or what the government told you or what the society is telling you. You have to think. You have to look for proof. You have to verify and make sure that it's actually the case. And that is our power. That is our strength. And that is why this guy, this Biafran guy, is in Finland, because he has came here, he studied. He knows the system. He knows what oppression is. Bakassi was taken away from us because the Nigerians didn't know what Bakassi stood for. You know, they came and then grabbed it and gave it to the Cameroonians. So we have been
ancestral home. Our own ancestral home. Not just a home, it's a spiritual.
And they did all that without consultation from our chiefs. What does this place represent to you people? Why are you guys, do you want to keep it? They didn't consult any of our people. They just went ahead and then they just gave it out, all for their own selfish ends. So Finland, there is opportunity. There are a lot of jobs. As we all know, the population in Europe is aging. And I must tell you that in 10 years' time, I'm afraid the number of people that are going to retire, they will not have people to replace them. So they need no more. They need people to fill up that space. So there are a lot of jobs for Nigerians. But like you said, the situation right now in Europe is dire. The far right, they are trying to take over Europe. They don't want Africans to come and dominate anymore. They don't want the Arabs to come and, because they are very few. So they are scared that if we open our doors and allow these immigrants to keep coming, then we would be non-existent. So see, otherwise there are a lot of jobs in Finland. And me, being the person that I am, I open up. Because I don't want to be selfish, I don't want to be greedy. People, we have always been very nice people. I open it up to my brothers and sisters. I told them, this is the way. I cannot be here by myself. I need more of you to come. Come and work as nurses. Come and look for study masters. Come and study undergraduate programs. And then let's use this knowledge and go back to our own country and develop our own system.
Simple.
That is what I'm encouraging. I keep them. Come and gather as many knowledge as you can. Take it back home and develop our community. So that is the intention. That is why I had to open it up to all of them, including all the Nigerians. Come and learn. Grab as much as possible and take it back home. Because we have been deprived of what we had. So it's our turn, like you said, to come here, grab as many as possible, particularly the knowledge, and take it back home and develop our society. And then eradicate poverty and fight for justice for our ordinary people. Somebody, I need as many money as possible. A deal from Utomdo, there is all ways possibilities, to empower yourself, and help your brothers and sisters back at home.
You talk like a brother. You talk like a Moses of this generation. How to able to lead Israel out of bondage. I think you can talk now as a woman because history. I got to say, I don't need time for history. I want to see yoga history. So, can you ask your question? Prince Sebo, good time by TT Finland, and many international passport.
Yeah. Thank you very much, my brother, Prince of Bakassi. I may not really have Mbeme for now because network was just disrupting me and I couldn't just follow straight away. Like he said, there are opportunities there to come down there. But I mean, like a thousand out of 100%, it is just about 10 or thereabouts that are willing to further their studies. And if you may want to have conversation with some of them, they will tell you that doing all this thing, going to school, this and that is a scam. Yes, simply because so many of them has been blindfolded with the so-called with the PA. You see them, they prefer being PA to PA to PA.
Oh God. Oh.
We refuse to see the future. We refuse to see the future. Like me, I am not easily influenced. Give me your prophecy, I will listen to it. It is me that will now decide to act on your prophecy because I want a better and good future. So I have to persevere. I have to work for it. I don't just have to relax. Like I shared with the doctor last time, there are some online programs, certificate programs that you see many of our people would have indulged in doing, to maybe boost their certificate. Like I have done a lot. I have been introduced to that by one Yoruba man, and they are bookworm, which I decided to share the link. So many of our people, they were telling me, mboro, ntuto link ido me, who you already hack account me. I forget more than I social media. And I'm all manner of rubbish. I saw one video yesterday, as in I felt very much ashamed about our ladies. Yes, because nyinindege kidiori bori kan bonfen, but nyinindege showcase them nyenke nyinimidiok ina me rimbo de diongo, which nko social media kedo mo na anonyen about the history. So many of our people, they refuse to upgrade themselves. So I did thanking body war I can now word. I mean and even when somebody is willing to help, we have this pull in us. So I mean the only thing be quarter me. Yeah, because just like doctor said, prophet ya kebonye ku cow ke but I believe as many yes. As many that are willing, because somebody like me, I mean, they're willing to do anything. If you see me online, some people will be asking me, what are you doing? I do a lot of things online. Like I study online free and they want the paid money. Yes, I have done a program with the United States,
Aaron, hold on. Prince, let's quickly welcome the jurist. I believe he's sitting in Italy. In room Italy, anyone Italy room. Our brother, please introduce yourself to the house. It's not too late.
Well, I'm very sorry, Bishop. We had I think I told you we had a waykeeping today. So then here in Rome, there was a lockdown because they had to give some people some right to make their demonstration. So everything was locked down. So we had to move from one place to another on foot. So I'm just getting in, and then luckily I saw your message.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm a by judge. I'm from the former Southern Cameroons, which is part of, for now, under occupation by the French Cameroon. We are very close to Nigeria, the Calabar area, and from the Manfe area, we share a common boundary with Nigeria. So I'm a human rights advocate, and I'm here, or I've been doing activism for the past close to 30 years, starting from student activism, then now professional, political, human rights, and so forth. So I've been representing the International Human Rights Protection Service in Italy for the past 2-3 years as country ambassador and president.
Thank you so much, sir. You come at a time we were about to round up. And
okay.
Prince, can you please quickly introduce yourself to the Honorable Barrister?
Good evening, Barrister. My name is Prince Bakasi. That is my how do I put it? It's my stage name. Otherwise, my name is Archibong Eyo Okon. I am based in Finland, and I'm a content creator, and by the name as well, Prince Bakasi. And I must tell you that I was born in Cameroon as well. You know, and I was born in Douala. So where I was born is and I lived in a quartier called Quartier Bayangi. And most of those in Quartier Bayangi are Mamfe people. So those are your people. So we grew up together, we play ball on the street together, and we live and eat together. So I'm very much familiar with Cameroon as a whole. In fact, I even speak French.
Bienvenue.
Merci grand frère, j'apprécie beaucoup.
Okay.
Donc c'est comme ça. So I'm very much familiar with Cameroon and Nigeria, and I can identify the differences. You know, for example, in Manfe, you guys call Esang. You know what is Esang? What is Esang?
Esang, well, you know that in the Manu area, you have Upper Bayang, you have Osing, you have Ejegam, which are different. They have different meanings and different connotations, you know. So Esang can mean a different thing in Ejegam, which is closer to the Ejegam in Nigeria, and it might mean a different thing in Upper Bayang, where I come from. But actually, Esang can be something, to me, for what I understand, it can be maybe a mat or something like what they used to, I don't know, but I'm not very versed with the language. We are the people they call born in coast.
Okay, for us, Esang is I don't know, maybe doctor can explain to you. Doctor, what is Esang?
Esang is a walking stick only for chiefs like me can use it.
Okay. But so that is from the Ejegam. That is from the Ejegam sense of it.
Exactly. So you can see there are so many words in Ejegam, and even in Manfe language, which is very similar to our own as well.
Sure.
And just to shock you, do you know that the Uruan people, they are a merge of the Balondo people and the Ibibio people. The Uruan people are a mix. So it means that we have so many Balondo people who left during the war. You know, they migrated to Akwa Ibom State and they settled along the coast because they were fishermen. They used to trade with the Ibibios. So when they came, because of the war, they settled in Uruan. So that Uruan today that speak Ibibio, they are a majority of them are the Balondo people.
And they play Igbe.
And then when they came to Uruan, they came with
they have the similar.
They came with the Ekpe masquerade.
Yeah.
In fact, they used to say that Ekpe was not only for men; it was for women. The Balondo people, women were practicing Ekpe. In fact, they are members of Ekpe. So they came with that idea to the Calabar region. You know, that is how they were able to introduce us to their cuisine and their masquerade. So that we and the Balondo people, we are not different from one another.
Sure.
You know, the language might be slightly different, but we are all same people.
And that is why I just want to let you know that, like the issue of the Bakassi, where people are wrangling their heads, we can solve that matter without even going to court, because the colonial boundaries that were drawn, when they were not drawn by us, they were drawn by these white people. But in doing that, of course, they should be. But the problem is that in law, until there is a change, you have to maintain what is there. Okay? Because they say, Nemo that quad no have best. You cannot give what you don't have. So Bakassi is a peninsula. It's not an island. It's not a singular island. It's a series of islands starting from that Balondo area, from Cameroon, from where they said is southern Cameroon, towards the sea, and passing through the, into Nigeria area, which they carve and say is Nigeria. Now the issue is when we are using the word Bakassi, it's like it's one place, one village. No, Bakassi is a stretch of land that passes across Nigeria and southern Cameroon. So this issue of even going to court is not necessary, or one people saying that this land belongs to me is not necessary, because the maritime law, you have maritime miles that are measured in the high sea, from the mainland to the high sea, 2,000 maritime miles. That is where your boundary is. Then from the other side, 2,000 maritime miles, that is where your boundary is. In between is what they call international waters. It's owned by nobody, which means that both territories can use that land, But what politicians did was that they tried to exploit, particularly the imperialists, they tried to exploit the resources in that area. And you know that the Efik and the Ibibio, as you rightly said, are fishermen. So some of them came down to Isangele, Jibobo, and other areas in the Mundemba area, which is closer to southern Cameroon. In fact, it is within the territory of southern Cameroon. And that is where, fortunately or unfortunately, there is this black gold they call oil, And when the military in Nigeria saw that the Cameroon government was abandoned the whole of that area, because even the citizens that were living there were paying taxes to Cameroon, but there were no primary schools. Instead, the government of Cross River State and other areas were those who were even providing, social services to the area. So by nature, the people saw it as a sort of, paying taxes without protection. And we accept that because the way the French Cameroon soldiers were behaving were against human rights. They were abusing both Cameroonians and Nigerian human rights, And so even when the war broke out, we intervened and even called the Nigerian side and told them that, look, we have been suffering in the hands of these people. Just go to the court. We will give you all the documents that Nigeria does not have a boundary with French Cameroon. Nigeria have a boundary with Southern Cameroon. That would have solved all the problems and even the 8-year war that we are facing today. But the Nigerian government did not understand it. And we will have, in gentleman way, use our resources amicably, leaving our people to settle no matter where you come from, pay your taxes and develop the area so that the students will not be particular. Like, I can tell you that most of my people from Manfe area, they go to school to Nigeria. From Nigerian area, they go to school in Nigeria. Most of them. At one time, we even have a chief that was in the house of a local government chairman in Nigeria, and he was a parliamentarian in Cameroon. One person.
Let me ask you a question, sir. So, please, who are the Ibibios to you, and what can you tell about the Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly?
Thank you very much. That I told you last time that the name Basi, I see Basi there, Penyong, Okon, we have them because one of our, I can say that a step father to me, you know, came from Ibibio. After the war, that was long time when I was a kid. So this man came and he integrated himself, and he was a butcherman. He was, you know, selling meat. He has children grown up. Those children are staying in my house. They are staying in my house, and I fought very long before the man died for him to have Cameroon nationality. But at one time, even the Nigerian consulate was asking me, but why are you fighting for this man like this? Who is he to you? I said, no, it's just somebody who grew, that is, you know, when you are growing up, the person who gives you 50 francs to go to school, to eat, is your father. He has a father image, you know. It was like we were growing together with his own children and with us. We will go together, eat together, you know, do things together. So he was like my father. So I have these names, Ebasi, Okon, Ekpenyong, because his name was Samuel Ekpenyong. Fortunately, he's dead. He died. But before he died, he said his place is Cameroon. He doesn't want his body to be carried to any place, you know, because of what happened, and you know, all this type of tribal, you know, all those things. Yeah. So the people and those are the people from Southern Cameroons have very close ties. One of our parliamentarians, Efik, I know that the man had roots in Nigeria and in Cameroon. These were the people who fought in 1953 for Southern Cameroons to leave the Eastern House of Assembly, because after after the Eastern House, after we were under the tutelage of Britain in 1922, after the First World War. So when they created the colonies in Lagos and so forth, then constitutional evolution came in that they had to divide the empires into three, where you have West, North, and East. So because we were small, we were Northern British Cameroon and Southern British Cameroon. We were ruled together in Nigeria. So the Southern Cameroon was ruled inside the Eastern House of Assembly, and the Northern British Cameroon was ruled in the Northern Assembly. So you see the way the British divided us up to today is affecting us, because they were not supposed to divide us like that. It's like you have your child and you divide them and give them to two foster parents. You know, so today we are fighting a war of independence because we know our roots. We would have preferred to stay with Nigeria, but during the experiment of more than 42 years with Nigeria, the way the Southern Cameroon politicians were treated, was what made us to move out from the eastern half of assembly in 1953, particularly from the Ibos.
Now,
you know,
did you hear that, Prince? Did you hear that? The way
particularly from the Ibos. Yes.
The way the Ibos treated them
Yes.
is the same way they are treating Ibibios today. Because
And that is what made,
he's saying here,
that's what made us move.
Ibibio man that was a first commissioned army officer of the Nigerian army, Wellington Batty, NA1, and they team up to kill that man, if not that a British served that man. And now why should somebody immediately 7 years after become a general and not Wellington Batty? The British handed over to Wellington Batty. Now you can see that the government was upon us. From what you are hearing, the Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly comprises of National Convention of Nigeria and Cameroon.
Yes.
So now
that was the main party.
We were the largest ethnic group. So the Igbos saw it as a threat that we should not be as large as any other tribe. So they pushed us from Onitsha. They pushed us from Onitsha, as you heard, down to where we are today. You call it very close to you. And now the same politicians cut off again out, and they said to the French territory, not even to Southwest Cameroon, to the French territory, take Bakassi. Did you hear what he's talking about? You are a woman. I know you want to say something. You are a woman, the only woman we have here. How does this sound in your ears?
This action, it was just a very bad one, because our own fathers were not really seeing this coming, because if they were actually seeing what the Igbos were trying to do, they should have known what to do on time, which it is still happening today. You know, give an Igbo man a small space, before you know, they will push you away. So original Igbo that you know, yeah, you don't need to joke with them, because they are very, very crafty. They know, in fact, if they have their target and they know what they want, and they must achieve their target. But one thing that is really making this thing looks like maybe we didn't know what to do is because these Igbos, they were working with one mind, one heart. But to our own, a house divided against itself, you know, it can never work. It can never. And that is why you see, even up till date, you see our people that are fond of selling lands, so they keep selling. And the Igbos are buying.
Our people are being used as a stooge. We are being used, and they don't use us directly. They use us with tricks. They use us that at the end of the day, they will bless us to bless our people. And by the time they are telling you, when they bless you, you will bless your people, you will believe it. So
Doctor.
In fact, Doctor, you see, Dr. Ebai.
Let me help you there, because that is a strategy of the oppressed.
Oh,
yes.
For the oppressor to oppress you very well, they have to divide you, and they have to render you to lose what they call your dignity and your personality. The moment you lose those things, you become like a stooge to them. That very strategy was used even in Southern Cameroon, because we are the people of the coast, and then you have another part which is, they call them Graphi, that is on the grasslands. These people from the grassland are in the majority, and even before their own politician could win an election, they have to come down to the south to manipulate the people in order to. So they came and pitted our own people from the south against each other in order to have their way. So that is the tactics of any oppressor, be it international, be it national, and even within the village.
Yes, there
For
must be
people
something to entice you.
to entice them. Then now you find yourself vulnerable, and you first of all they will take away from you the economic power. Then you become now subservient to them. That is, you have to depend on them to live, and that is why you have to sell your land to live, because you cannot have the job. Because from what we know is that the Ibibio person, they even told us that they were cannibals. That is the type of story the Igbo people were sending around in southern Cameroon. You know, so when you see an Ibibio person, you say, they eat human being. You know,
Human
that
being,
type of
and they'll be scared of.
yes, cannibalism. You see, so who is that person that will want to associate with a cannibal? Which is a technique, from what you are telling me now, it was a technique to punish the tribe and to make it irrelevant. You know, then they had a strategy to help themselves always. So you can even hear in where we are now, if you see an Igbo man somewhere and he sees his brother, my sister, that he will do everything to put his brother on the line. Something that some of us, we don't have. That spirit. So it's that spirit that they have inculcated into themselves to make themselves superior, and they are even linking themselves now with the Jews, as if some of us are from hell. So I have a problem when they are using this, because at times I go to I tell them, why did we leave the Eastern Half Assembly? They were using this same type of tricks, because when we gave them, because Southern Cameroon was semi-autonomous, we were not independent, but we were semi-autonomous. And even when we joined French Cameroon, we still had our autonomy, because it was a federation of 2 states. So the Nigerians that came in pretext of after the Biafra war, we gave them asylum, we gave them free assembly, we allowed them to come in. But before then, even when we were in the Eastern Half Assembly, they had infiltrated into our site, and in the market, they owned everything. What our parents used to tell us is that when they are selling like clothes, they don't pass in front of their shop. Then you touch and try to see what you want. They'll just take their scissors, cut it, and throw it on you. You have to pay.
Hey,
yes,
Tricks.
You have to
Selling
pay.
by tricks.
Yes, if they are selling oil, you just come and say how much is the oil. They will just pour it in the gallon, because government we were being ruled by in Enugu actually.
It was in Enugu that Efik-Ibibio said that Eyo insulted him, and so he can never allow Calabar man, they call all of us, including Cameroon, Calabar that time.
Yes,
that he can
that is
never
what
allow Calabar man to become a general of the Nigerian army, and that was Wellington Bassey. So that was how the Nyamianda till General Nsuku came to take over and die in the coup. Then here comes Ironsi, and they put Ironsi again.
Ironsi is from where?
Ironsi, that is after Kanana Nseku. It was Ironsi they put there instead of Wellington Bassey, a Calabar man, which they hated.
Okay.
You see?
So that is it. So but the problem is that for a people to gain their self-respect, you don't need to sit down. You need to start advocating and speaking. Because if you don't speak, nobody will speak for you. That is what this century, because even if they say that Nigeria have to divide, it should not divide according to the old rules. It should divide according to your own perspectives. If it means that every village should become a state. Let it be. Or any clan to be autonomous. Yes, because we cannot accept illegality to become legality. Biafra thinks that they are the only people. I have to tell them that, look, you are not the only ethnic group in Nigeria that have problems. But you have to succeed, because I support any group that stands out for their legal rights.
Freedom.
You know? Yeah, for their freedom. But you cannot fight for your freedom by oppressing or suppressing others. You can't do that. So you guys have to stand up, carve out a way for yourselves so that you can come up to the limelight. I think that is a struggle that we have to put on the map.
Dr. Barrister Ebai, I promise you a short time, but I'm sorry it has gone beyond 15 minutes.
No. For me, it's always okay with me. It's always okay with me. I don't mind.
Let us allow you to rest till next Saturday.
Okay, if there's anything you can inform me in advance. Unfortunately, I did not see, because at this time I was walking to come home. So now,
yeah. So we will have you next Saturday so that you can hear the nitty-gritty and rudimentary analysis of everything that we have packaged here. So we will you next Saturday, and I allow you to rest because we are from a far place.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So much for coming.
Okay, right, Sister Bessie, also have a good night, and the Prince of Bakassi. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes,
goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Good night. Nice having you around.
So now, Aret and Prince, a Cameroonian is telling you, okay, Afro Western Cameroon, okay, back Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly, Kenugu. Afomari young Tom Boroku Wamfo. That was why I get a political party NCNC. And that was the reason for now words so at that work up and Nigeria Makana get a sigiwe. And you give an Yankan. And yes, your poor authority, FF, I sang a work a Tony Nahuru. It's your poor authority if you're young. Nigerian poor authority if you're young. Eben young Lagos, a iPhone memo. From Yoruba young Ibom, take it to. Now, Emma, they deprived Wellington Bassey opportunity. I did know the first military head of state. Just because K. Yonsa, a Calabar man, Chief Yonsa, Akisong Monyen. Because Siki Weke believe Kimo do it to go Bassey. Believing that Kina ante mo ibitang go opus. So yon sama bo no Kimo don't do. Your plans in a because of Patterson Sogonis, I gotta go Pizzer Industries, I got a Calaba, Itia Pizzer Industries at them about the Bangaragi Tieru by What market? No, by what market by Calabar route. And so as you see, a preferred structure so me again a Menyakan Kangumium. Based on the fact that I only betraying you capital of Nigeria is Yogi Ifyayong because of betrayal. So the original place is Ifyayong. So it gets your effect. From there, believe that Ibibio Yembong Ibibio Bonusong again. Mbuin Kantang Nanganye Rokaba is very deep very deep. I want to Southern Cameroon. Come memo, you go to Cameroon. But again, who fuck again for come memo, Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly. Kenugu, again. But don't forget, am I broadcasters, Iban Yinigini, Oko condemn, you're going to tap. They were suppressed and marginalized terribly. That's all one tribe. So mfremi, Cameroon songs they pull out. Ete toku unege karam mimo. Young autonomous community.
Autonomous community.
So this is the story of the Ibibios. I want you to quickly summarize. Say, go mfremi sen tegu ngwana kbe because I non to go in them.
So many editang because because of Nico editang before the barrister came in. Ngomekan tembiu negam kero mo ma daka even idem me any subject. So many penny edit not item. I won't even summarize it. Yang bon yenemi kisa ngadi nyong yemedi wamawo yakawo ni etiesa because data ngami akpe kambiu nege apriche yoyo abiomba karo dekperodo abokere mo aya kat nanga woni ambubege bo awu nege nyemedi ba yewo amo 5-7 years ayo ngoke minesi onyunyon but biu kang ni eguto imero ini eguton so widemero ibaga
Hey,
instead
Sienia.
them
Hey, Sienia.
iwaka
Yes,
doctor
your
ke
voice you got. Kite you got. Ke ya kere way Ibibio up to 50. Now I go praying one who got to 21 who got a Gorema.
but
In fact,
doctor it's you korodo ilit kemot anywhere
it's ya more corporate kero. Kit you got. It's your corporation of more bag.
then you don't think bokedo
Okay, I
just
didn't
as
get
a
more.
print of
I didn't get more when you toys race. You kite you got do. No, for kere what's here. Ano, ama nyeme da kada adep. Ama nyeme da kada adep. Afre we de bukoro do close da kaba mvenedi ke bibi egbe ni ewu toys ref do. It's not much invest it you won't po. Akere boke mo bi da agi da mfremi. So that corporation,
but in
that corporation of okena mo ni ege ba do it you won't po. Amo extend ke that corporation isn't ke business. So ndi onge meri so ngo ba se ya ngam.
Ado wasted cooperation gedo then it is not anything called cooperation because anything a mi benu foro yen sekiri itie utong body ba ufon nte Prince of Bakassi etanga boke imiye mowo e coming to Finland and all of that aya katke fori yung bene won sponsor
Apo
no
mege na wo
kado
comment.
aya wong
Apo mege na wo comments me.
awong
Ma wo comment ke.
so avokat nyinisuki medida edem. I remembered you posted something about scholarship and many other opportunities.
Ma
I
wo ke
asked you,
rimboro ke.
has anyone contacted you? Ntengpo Terence Eketangabanga modeling. Ayinu negative tumfane mi eso kon disturb me. Nitokang yen senyong neme min yang akekeboke into that locally. I won't take it Mbappe. So mfana nyine ruke nyine nege kidan po tengpo. Ntenye bogo yake cross edido. Usuki ni ema boy cross doctor mbok. Edi yungi kamon katankangu bogo mi cross. Awi tuki ni pepa ndeket. Says ko bebe na mana kitotongo ke modo.
No. Utom si wo. Gbero prince ya temme rodi. I know he's busy somewhere. Ebo kutomo wo even primary 6 eba. Ebo
Okay.
kutom si wo even primary 6. In fact, wo ke se magbero mekani dere tang. Tau tang idem. So that's why nge yemme a breakdown. Anyo mana award na
I enlighten our more on that.
exactly. So atari wa utum si woman ke Finland. Finland and any one fruit 80.
Okay.
And then ke yem bonu pick fruit semi. Because fruit semi ke so in here right now wine. So in here fruit semi in am juice. So many things even fruit in them. Some bone carrying one fruit tem. Is an epe ko 80. Monica, you want fruit me in a kaki need a paper ufong wet. So Monica the caregiver say ya it rain. Now Finland am here for governor and tell me that bon kidememo. Another it here a country who retire. A salary to a fopa. So you go retirement or gratuity you can get it again a maze and gandok. Then a dear careful. Many things that will come fun. About Norway from where it will come fun. Yeah,
Yes,
medical
but standard of
things.
living is very high in Norway.
Better wait on other
Norway, don't I? Yes.
cost of living other than Nigeria.
I just scatter.
Even discouragement in onion. That's why we have pianbo. Cost of living at Tangami, make wait on Ogi Tieru.
Norway, don't a doctor. Take in
So,
Nigeria.
Sinam no Kumoko can know dong or one penny canadong. So, who are the Ibibios? But then when you need to get up, I better look it up.
Norway, there.
Ya bo hello ise ki song do bon yang te sem bo ken yes min get awo mi da ya ke ida kam awo kere mo so di ana ke line am ya song do wetiti so ya ise men ni do ra ya se no yo bo hai so idi on men ye no ni e mi an gani gai no mu gin jang si ba so Mary Charles bas you san bi do mkong arna do ko Mary Charles ke ta ugo I am a man a repeat program about again diario and Kabi don't come up with me. So yeah, I need always through for them. Yeah, that's one on network on your tongue. Say a tauko, we be seen against through for Abati, a tauko ya might walk of ferem bong, walk me would walk a kind of ferry bog fa because I'm bored. And I'm a tauko that program. So, program yes or boni so. A by church. As a pocket do. Go be Europe. I do go bang and give them any young boy for Europe. But yeah, Ugang in it go by boot.
Isu ke interest ke po angkang ni no.
I borrow to Momo Canan to go Boris and you don't move good to a cat to a Kagi, would it to a what they walk. But
they say people, few people in near mine they war. Yeah, because you don't travel out, you don't get my time again. Opportunity ever say for travel out for yemme.
Daddy, well, for the international passport. Idi on get on Nigeria Karami me international passport and also. So now opportunity one. Yeme wait 80, including even a vote you get better me yemi doc Finland to your office a put them work. So
Finland.
After the program am ki come bakaram film. No this brother tangi ko bang Finland. Boss Yoruba, you nigga can program. But away they can name Mammy Okang in a me wood. Near Zebinam. Ya kai so ribong. Na ba se don tien se ki ma ibom.
I didn't know more. Say no more the Bible.
Who can look? You need the voice of the one crying in the wilderness. Dr. Cry in the wilderness.
Dr. Mpema, yeah, Mama. Of woman I invite the Prince of Bakassi. So
Prince
that I
Moba
heard
line on me. Prince Moba, so go see Tangam.
about
go
the
Prince, unmute yourself. Prince, come and greet your people. Let's go.
That But say you will be near interest that will contact you, Edion, on the way forward and how to go about it.
There is no comments kisong traveling to Finland. Because girlfriend. And girlfriend is what you
Is it a girlfriend?
Metang futu iko bikondi onge rimburu la furong. Mbo ke awu wana so wadu juro bo binam di da kimbong. Mbong ya bo kiki de performance ni no.
Isang itim po now because I'm not careful no ya yung okere banga ya kida me monte tangami. Menem
Ay
we respect ke wo.
for this program. Iban kide memo ko for this program. Okukan no utang agami do I confirm first from a pastor mo before it war. So it's getting dangerous and difficult. It's getting dangerous and difficult. Because this brother matang idaru. Akban yung mama wo. Medion 10 years tiagero kan kaondo. Tak ba mama do ke no later of invitation.
Yes.
Ado ko posong
And
ko
that
wo ni.
connection over there.
Ado ko posong ko wo ni. Nene foka. Akero. Itigo corporation kang ni because bong make na wo. Amo insen mi en ke Finland page. Ngena wo sano. Wo sano. Abo mboke mo di conference ke Finland ke mo ini ko bi pe for idong or hotel. Mbok anybody edo go Nigeria. Make say sano ke namdo. Ani ba wo sano min ke take Finland group. But wo sano tembo go Nigeria ingwa memo. As I'm telling you we okay they might offer you for is yetien na. I was sano. A week kere ki bo ke to sano. Abi dong am even a meeting. In fact, sometimes even a shopping. So Zibari do that. Kawo invitation later from anye. Could hear me where we about the invitation later go officer. That cannot plan. Iyoga 1 week. Iyoga 1 week. I mean utum. And utum do. Any class of utum of a support pick. Ben Kamadion. No yen utara.
Yes.
From there for the kada. Immediate for the first time can remember you.
Yeah.
For 2 hours. So our Sokobado, we have my brother and my sister. He can is no yin onion. Where is no yin onion? And you buy the onsinam. So you're on your be bring. I don't know. Tang doctor don't is a
well because each time, every day, some of the historical background of the Ibibio and Mitie, and maybe we don't get connected. Just like Barrister Tangado, who would know? Okay. So, men are going to a lot of things get this program, which make me I did boldly. Ke afo adowi bibio. Akpendo comment for both photo. Then I mean you would in the points and what makes you an Ibibio person. So I do one interesting and educative program. I mean the can a lot and be song young pep. And this program go I also kama opportunity to encourage people in a comfort zone. The cross so men encourage mbok ya more in ya grab opportunity ke piru no womi At some point, na walk it through canon, but it is so song cheating.
Ame komoron bari yung ibo.
Orion is also a JC. Kevin Mvaku, emi ore nanganye waku program amo ono. Nanganye lungi encourage you. Yak eje egonga yan eba ko gubro. Ibibio nyen mi komo mbok ekaka ise wana yenyan. Isa songa JC kem pangutong. Inembo pena onyan. Isa songa osel.
All right. Then yeah. Ay, woro bokoro nemem. Yene gambo for Joseph Rankin. Mbo ya ito may tiye kem bong yairio. Gani ka usoket. Ado kung kat ku weme na dok. Nye do kere sparkle. Ko tiye mga na sparkle siya ba? Sparkling. So, yung ano rin sparkle kung ko si ba ke rin bun no yung ben ni de mi biok. Dem panigi sparkle ke ro ito. Ibang bo si ba ne na bong ya ne ke ko. Na rin sa woman ni nam. Yo di on ko ni ke mi rin sa woman. Ke mi rin sa woman 3 days, na rin sa woman 1 week. Na rin sa woman for 1 month. So, it depends. And ari ren woman unia ite man unia ka man so unia good so yung di concentrate ren tal agreement for yung concentrate kanya ste ren ala do ren tinga do be expire yung kanya ma you can renew it. What's the renew for? So that is it. And do be gado yes so bito mga Nigeria ya register so somehow that's there and go for
Song osel.
Give me Bubreo, the beat drops in the air, dance and rejoice, let happiness be there when Bubreo, the rhythm takes control, Aqua Ibom, and celebrate as a whole. Give me Bubreo, the beat drops in the air, dance and rejoice. Let happiness be there when Bubreo, the rhythm takes control. Aqua Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Celebrate as a whole. Celebrate as a whole. In the heart of Aqua